Welcome to the Howard Keating Show. I'm Howard Keating, and right now we have our board of advisor, John Emens, and you all have been listening to him over the course of the last 8-10 weeks. Well, now you get to see the guy. And John, we're in your backyard here over at EXIM Bank.
That's right. My former backyard, at any rate.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is quite an event. This is the annual event. And they have all the big hitters are here from business.
That's right.
And EXIM clients, that's Export-Import Bank. And my God, they've done all the awards here today. It's been quite an event.
Recognizing lots of small business exporters and the people who support them.
Absolutely. And boy, it's really well done. It was just a terrific presentation upstairs.
They had a very good presentation. They also have very good turnout. They had to cut off the registration at 1,300. So there are 1,300
Wow.
here today and tomorrow. Exporters, lenders, export credit insurance brokers, other people who serve exporters like logistics companies. So it's quite a range that covers the waterfront of trade and trade finance.
And I've got, for all you out there, I got to know John about 4 or 5 years ago. It's been longer than that. It's probably like 5 or 6 years ago. And I called Export-Import Bank, and John got on the phone, told him what we were going to do. And to give you an idea how he responded, he got on the plane the next day and came out to Detroit, Michigan to meet with us. And this gentleman has a background in banking, but he's on the commercial side of it. And then he joined up with EXIM Bank, and he is the man that turned around a lot of the activities here in Washington, D.C. to help small businesses become a focus and become a thing that has got to be pushed across and helped out with as far as growing these businesses. So it's been a pleasure. You treated me great all through the years.
Well, it's been a nice cooperation.
Yeah, but you didn't have to, and you know we were just the new guy on the block, and you came out, and we did whatever we could do to get going, and we did have that symposium going on at the Reagan building, and it was I think it was a World Conference for Small Business or something like that.
That's right.
And my God, it was a terrific, and you were part of the panel.
Yep.
And
right.
It was a terrific day. We had everybody there. It was a fun day. We had State, Commerce, EXIM, we had OPEC, we had SBA, and we had Clayton Yetter there making the presentation,
right,
or doing the introductions, the former Secretary of Agriculture. So that's how we got to know each other. But now, this whole thing has really gotten to be a bigger deal.
Well, you know, one of the things that attracted me when you first contacted me years ago, and then more recently with regard to the Keating Network and this very unique web-based outreach to small business, is I worked for a guy years ago, and one of his key phrases was, try lots of new things. And there's not enough of that in big business, and certainly small business, they get it. They try new things. And you know, many succeed. There are some that fail. It's being in business is high risk.
Sure.
And one of the things about EXIM Bank that assists companies who are exporting is to reduce that risk. And whether you're talking to the chairman of EXIM Bank or many of their staff members, their job is to reduce the risk of the exporter so that he can achieve international sales, boost his top line, improve his bottom line, and because the mission of the agency is jobs, either to create or maintain U.S. jobs, then they achieve their mission by helping with the financing products.
And when you look at EXIM, they're profitable. They've been around for a long period of time. They've been performers year in and year out. And now they're really making a move, trying to get to another level.
Yeah, I think the stat that we saw earlier today during the luncheon was over the last 5 years, they've turned $3.4 billion back to the U.S. Treasury. This is a relatively small U.S. government agency. It's independent. It's not part of Commerce. There's only about 400 people. They've got a budget of about $100 million. And, you know, do the math, divide 3.4 by 5, and they're turning back nearly $700 million a year. You and I might call it a profit. They're not allowed to call it a profit in the
Sure.
government. But it's a surplus. It's a surplus that reduces the U.S. deficit, but that's not the purpose of the agency.
No, but it is doing that, and why they're employing people, why they're getting exports going out there, and why they're helping small business. I mean, we need that boost.
Yeah, and your listeners and viewers should be aware that about 80 or 85% of all the transactions that Ex-Im does are for small business, as defined by the SBA. That for a manufacturing company, that's 500 employees or less. So there can be some pretty chunky companies with employment in the 250 to 500 range, but most of the deals are for them. About 25% of the dollars. But last year, Ex-Im supported $3.4 billion in financings, which is probably closer to $4.5 billion or $5 billion of exports. And that's not chump change in anybody's league.
Yeah, and now they're evolving, coming up with different programs, accelerating performance. Now, if they get an application, they get 5 days, and they're going to turn it around. Yes or no?
In one new program that they're just rolling out, a 5-day turnaround for the low end of export credit insurance, policies of $300,000 or less. But if you're a company that's got, let's say, $1 million in annual exports, which for a lot of companies is a very nice business, you don't need more than $250,000. I mean, you'd only have $100,000, $200,000, $250,000 outstanding at any one time, so you can just keep rolling those sales in as others pay off, and so they're going to hopefully, give it a go with this faster turnaround. A little bit more expensive, but the price doesn't matter. It's like 10 cents more per 100 shipped. You get to pick who you cover, as opposed to having to cover all of your foreign open account buyers. And Ex-Im is going to pay for the export credit reports, which cost on average a couple $100 a pop. So there's, you got 5 foreign buyers. There's $1,000 that you don't have to pay in because the government's going to pick that up.
See, before when I first got into the business, you had to turn over all of it, the business.
Right, and that's the way most of their policies are. This is something very new. They have had a policy where you can do a few rather than all, but it's not a very actively used policy, and they're expecting that this, for the little guy, if he's already selling successfully to, let's say, Great Britain and Mexico and very comfortable with those customers, he can exclude them, save on the premium on all of those shipments, and then cover some of his newer clients that he doesn't have a track record.